Okay, welcome back. This is February 22nd, Sunday or Saturday, and it's a mess outside. It's snowing, about 4 inches of snow, and now there's ice on top of that, and my sidewalk is a sheet of ice. And this is like the best hobby you can ever have up in the northeast of the country. In the middle of winter, I got a 1000-watt halide bulb burning over my head, and I've got pepper plants, tomato plants all started out. And I just wanted to, this is going to be a vignette of close-ups. What I did was, because I had problems with focusing with this lens, I swapped it out and used my macro lens, and used my symbol stand as a tripod, hooked my camera up on there, and got some up close shots, so you'll see those. And I made some comments while I was doing it. Some of them could be repeated, that's okay. But just another shot of the pepper plants. This was the scene of the cutting. And what I wanted to show was mostly how to cut the tops off of the plants. And right now, most of them I've already cut off, and the few that I had to do, I did those with that macro lens close up to show you actually how I do that. No, I'm not a scientist, whatever. It's just the way I do it, and the way I make sense out of it. At some point I might show how to do the tomatoes as they grow, and that'll be interesting as well. It's a very similar task, but you've seen some of the close-ups of the tomato plants that I have, especially these down here on this bottom row here, that basically are doing very well. Okay, again here I'm just showing several close-up vignettes of the trimming work that was done. This guy trimmed a little while ago, and once you know, I left these big leaves on here, and once all this started coming out from all the other crotches, or whatever you want to call them, then I trimmed off the leaves. I'll show you another example of one that I haven't trimmed the leaves off yet, farther back in the process. So I'll sequence these so you can tell kind of how this works. Hopefully it'll work that way. Okay, so here's a pepper that I did a while back. Can't really tell if it's focusing correctly, but I think it might. Hopefully it is. Doesn't look like it. It's very close, and I'm getting some shadows. But I'm should check the autofocus. But these, this is one of the greener versions that is more spindly. I've cut that off here, and you can see where these are coming out of those armpits or crotches, and we'll see how that goes. Very different scenario between these green guys and the orange, the lighter yellow versions of those same hybrid pepper plants that I pulled out, pulled the seeds out earlier. And that's just some of the technique that you can see the results of a little closer than the other lens on the camera was kind of out of focus. Okay, here's a close-up of one of the plants I cut, probably just a couple of days ago. These are the yellow ones that are real bushy, not like the green spindly ones, and you can see it's starting to shoot up. And one right next to it, I'll show you also another example of trimming. So I'll just have to move the camera a little bit, so bear with me. Hopefully these are well enough in focus. There's a little shadow from the camera on these. It's an interesting setup with the cymbal stand. It's a lot different than a tripod, obviously, but it seems to be working well. I might use it again. Okay, here's another close-up of one of the yellow versions that just bushed all out, and I trimmed the larger leaves off recently because it was doing good. It's got a lot of growth going on down below here, and those should be like the tomatoes, whole plants that have their own flowering top pieces. See, there's a lot of growth in there. Hopefully the autofocus is working. Part of the get a little shadow from the camera against the, and then I'll show another sequence of the big green. What I'm going to do is demonstrate how I trim these. That's why I kind of wanted to get the macro out and show how I top these off. Some people just chop them like right here, you know, at some point in time. But I like to get them as high up as I can to leave as much of the stems as I can. Just take the top off, and that's how I do that. Now that's one of the hot pepper plants that I got that leaf out there too. Okay, well, probably didn't want to do that, but and then you can see there's enough crotches and joints that will allow for that to bush out, somewhat like the other plants are. I have one of the green guys that I was talking about, and I'll set up the tripod. It's actually my cymbal stand. The tripod's in the truck, and it's buried under some snow. Today I was going to get it out, and I didn't. So I did that one there. I might do another greenie here on the other side. We'll have to set it up so I can show you what I'm doing. But that's what that is. And then next to that guy is that one that's I showed before. That's kind of getting nice and bushy. Can't really do a zoom on the macro, and the focus relies on the closeness, so it's a little different photography, obviously, than using the other lens. Alright. Okay, so here's another plant. This is one of the yellow ones that I'm going to trim out and then watch you show you later how that blossoms out. Again, I'm trying to just take the top out, and you can see there's a lot of stuff going on in here, which is great. But what I want to do is I want to get that same kind of action going on out here on all these other stems. So basically, I take this and try to cut as high up as I can all that action out of there, and mostly I'm successful. And you can see in the aftermath there's a lot of stems and those crotches and whatever you want to call them, armpits, in and through there. I like the little bonsai type clippers. They really work great with this kind of close in work. But you can see, you know, I've lopped off the tops, but left a lot of these little stems. And you can even see some of these are actually trying to grow other foliage. This guy is, I think, is going to like this kind of trimming. I'm going to take that these light green guys from the hybrid seeds. Are going to take that trimming and do well with it. because they just look bushier, and they're already turning into a tree. That stem work there, you can see it's very starting to get that dark texture to it. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Just having fun. Snow's out. You know, we got like 4 or 5 inches, I guess, and not a lot. But then now ice on top of that, so the sidewalk's all full of ice. But we're in here, nice and hot, under the metal halides, and doing well. So, hope this is informative for you.